Welcome back to another episode of Before You Pull, the show where we cut through the hype, look at the raw data, and give you my absolute first impressions on the newest units hitting the servers. I'm your host, and today we're looking at an absolute powerhouse, the third of the four saints, the Vermilion Bird, the newest S tier mage joining the Dragon Traveler servers. Now, when you think of a mage, you usually picture a glass cannon sitting safely in the backline, right? Not this time. Vermilion Bird sits right in the middle of the board, ends up burning her own health bar to deal massive nuclear damage. And then, when she actually does finally go down, she turns into an egg, heals to full, and then just blows up the entire screen. She is the undisputed queen of Ignite, heavily featured as the main DPS in endgame Elemental Echo teams, and she also does alright in Illusion Veil teams, even though there's other units that do crazy damage there. But is this fiery goddess actually worth your gems? Or is just her kamikaze playstyle too risky for your account? Grab a drink, get comfortable, and let's break down whether you should pull for the Lord of the Southern Fire. Long before empires rose and fell, the world was watched over by the four divine beasts: the Astral Dragon, the White Tiger, the Black Tortoise, and the ruler of the southern skies, the Vermilion Bird, born directly from the raw, burning power of the stars themselves. She has protected the human realm through the changing seasons for thousands of years. Though she wields the apocalyptic power of the cosmos, she walks the mortal plane in disguise of a young girl in red. She is the undisputed master of the purest fire in existence, commanding the seven southern constellations to purge the world from darkness. In her hands rests her noble phantasm, the Vermilion Bird Feather Fan. It is said that she is the king of all avian life, and those who wield the divine relic draw upon the absolute exercising power of the stars themselves. Where she points, only ashes remain. And then she joined like the female tennis organization or something? But alright. Let's talk mechanics because her kit is actually pretty complex. Vermilion Bird's entire damage engine relies on her talent Crimson Sky Sunfire. Whenever an enemy is hit by the detonation or evaporation elemental reactions, they gain a stack of Sunfire. And for every single stack of Sunfire on the target, Vermilion Bird's damage against them increases by 18%, and this ends up scaling ridiculously fast. But her true identity lies in her secret skill and special skill combo. She has an energy system that caps out at 9 stacks, and when she hits full energy and triggers a reaction, she instantly loses 50% of her current HP to deal a mind-numbing 1.2k% of her attack as magical damage. Yes, she actively kills herself, but when she takes fatal damage at full energy, her rebirth passive triggers. She turns into an egg, becomes immune to all damage, regains 100% of her health, and then just hatches to deal another 1.2k% damage to the entire screen. Now, because she heavily relies on this loop, let's look at the actual value spots for your gem stash. Now, for all of you guys in the budget, we all know the sweet spot is that Tan level 3 for either your 6 copies or your 3 copies and your 3 slimes. She's gonna end up getting a flat 15% attack boost. So if you're a low spender and you really want this unit, because you're maybe building the Elemental Echo as like your 3rd or 4th team, I don't think you should be building this many teams, but it's up to you. This might be a place where you can stop since you get that additional attack. Moving forward to the main team entry at talent level 4 for the 1 red star, if you want to start managing her as your carry and building her up for your endgame teams, once you get her to this passive, here, every time she hatches from the egg, proccing her rebirth, her attack will permanently go up by an additional 30%, and the chance of her actually applying Ignite goes up by an additional 25%. This essentially turns her kamikaze playstyle into a massive permanent up, and it's definitely that minimum tier so she can start doing some good damage within your team. Now for that one Leviathan watching this video, the level 7 turns her Overdrive Fire Tornado into a black hole that pretty much pulls enemies in and makes her egg form deal additional magical damage just by existing. It's wild, but super expensive for your wallet. Now, like most units, you actually have to build her to maximize her raw damage output, because you really want to cap out just how much damage those nukes are doing. So for her subclass, you're going to want to go with the Elementalist. She gets an additional 8% attack, and she gets an additional 16% physical defense. But what we actually want out of the Elementalist is the fact that for each debuff on the target, you deal additional damage equal to 26% of your attack power. And the maximum additional damage that you can generate is capped at 130% of your attack. Now, as you remember, anytime you were proccing elemental reactions, you were adding a specific debuff to the enemy, so you can see how you will take full advantage of the Elementalist's passive. For the armor, farm the full Paladin set, helmet, armor, gauntlets, boots. This triggers the crit damage times 2 set bonus, boosting her crit damage by 18%, because remember that she's going to be nuking with over 1.2k% damage multipliers. So just get a critical strike on that, and then it's game over. For her weapon, we're actually going to see some variety now, with the touch of the Undying Flame. This is really a non-negotiable because it gives you the magic set, which is a flat, massive 32% boost to all magic damage dealt. And then for your accessory, you're going to go with the Eagle Warrior Portrait, which completes the Judgment set, granting you 12 haste for faster skill cycling, and then a 20% multiplier to her overdrive damage. Now, we did mention that her skill rotation was super important for her, so let's go ahead and actually deep dive on her skills. So for her overdrive, Brahma Fire Dance, she unleashes a massive fire tornado that hits 10 times, applies 3 instances of Ignite, and actively knocks enemies back. If this triggers the punishment effect, it dumps 3 extra Sunfire stacks on the enemy instantly. For the ultimate, Flame Shadow Talisman, it's essentially a 9-second cooldown tactical nuke. It drops a rune that hits for 560% of her attack. But if the target has a Sunfire stack debuff, it deals an additional 280% damage. Hold on. By the number of stacks the enemy has. This is your ultimate boss killer skill. For her divine skill, Everlasting Life, this is actually what makes her viable. She starts the battle with absolutely full energy. This means her very first elemental reaction will immediately trigger her 50% HP nuke, putting her right on edge of death so she can trigger her rebirth mechanic as soon as possible. So, bringing it all together, should you be pulling for the Divine Beast of the South? Well, if you're running an endgame Elemental Echo or Illusion Veil team, and you desperately need a main DPS, while those other broken ones actually come into the game, who can consistently apply Ignite and literally cheats death, then yeah, absolutely, go ahead and pull. Elemental Echo teams have been getting so much love over the past couple of patches. Get her to at least town level 4 so her egg mechanic actually buffs her and watch her carry your account. However, if you do not use the Elemental Reactions team, just go ahead and save, man. But what do you guys think? Are you dropping your gems for the Vermilion Bird? Or are you holding your stash for the next banner? Let me know in the comments down below. I do read all of them. And if this guide saved you gems or helped you build, smash that like button and subscribe to the channel.